Assalamualaikum and hi, welcome back to another video by us. I'm Cik Raja.
And I'm Mr. Zul.
We are from Barista Lab UiTM Penang. Alright Cik Zul, what do we need for milk prep?
Okay, so for milk preparation we need definitely a milk, and you can use any kind of milk, but for this demonstration we are going to use a fresh milk. And then we need a milk pitcher. We have two different sizes of milk pitcher. The small pitcher is for 1 portion and the bigger pitcher is for 2 portion. Then you can pour the fresh milk into the milk pitcher.
What is the level that we need, Cik Zul?
Approximately it's around 150 ml for 1 portion. So before we start steaming our milk, we need to purge our steam one first. Then wipe the steam one tip. Next, we put our milk pitcher underneath of the steam one and make sure the steam one tip is touching the surface of the milk. Next, switch on the steam one and listen for paper tearing. The paper tearing sound should last 3 to 4 seconds before we dip the steam one. Once done, remove the steam one, purge and wipe. Next, we need to knock and polish the milk.
Why do we need to knock and polish, Cik Zul?
We need to do that in order to make the milk look glossy and also shiny.
Now, when preparing the milk, there are two ways to do it. As we've seen just now by Cik Zul, we were steaming the milk. Now, the second method is going to be more on the frothing. This could be achieved by stretching the milk longer and allowing paper tearing sound to be longer. And if you can hear properly, the milk sounds thicker and the texture is richer here. Now, we haven't really talked about the temperature of the milk. The heating of the milk will add some sweetness to the milk. To achieve optimum sweetness, the temperature should be around 55 to 65 degrees Celsius. And in order to achieve that temperature consistently, we are going to use the thermometer. Now, if you notice just now, Cik Zul did not really use the thermometer. It's actually one of the method used in the industry, which is to sense the heat by touch. The idea is if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to drink. So when the barista feels that the milk pitcher is too hot, they will automatically stop the steaming process. But when you talk about touch, it's rather subjective from one person to another person. So that is why it is still better to use the thermometer. Now, when utilizing the thermometer, you need to make sure that you stop the steaming process earlier, because the temperature of the milk will still go up a bit. When we know our target is going to be around 65 degrees Celsius, we will stop around 50. Here in Cik Zul is currently preparing the Cafe Latte or milk coffee. So when we talk about the Cafe Latte, we have to use the steaming method. So the microfoam should be thinner. Next, Encik Zul will show us how to make the cappuccino. Now, for the cappuccino, we need the milk to be a bit more thicker, so we have to add the froth. As you can see from this video, the pepper tearing is longer. We are stretching the milk longer to create more froth for our cappuccino. Now, as you can see, we achieve a much thicker foam as compared to the first one. Here we see the difference between the cappuccino and the latte, where the foam of the latte is approximately 1 to 2 cm and the cappuccino is 2 to 4 cm. For our final milk-based drink, we are going to make the mocha latte. Now, some mocha latte recipe requires you to have chocolate syrup, but for our recipe we're using cocoa powder. Use 10 ml of cocoa powder. So first things first, to start off we are going to scoop up the 10 ml of cocoa powder into the cup right before we extract the espresso. Once the espresso has been fully extracted on the cocoa powder, you mix it well and create this sort of a syrup texture. Next, prepare the milk. The texture of the milk or the microfoam of the milk should be the texture for a latte, which is the thinner microphone. So that's the end of our milk-based video.
Guys, have a nice day and
Enjoy your coffee.